Today, I'm going to show you how to get started playing slide guitar in open D tuning. You can hear this bluesy tuning at work in songs like You Gotta Move by Mississippi Fred McDowell and Elmore James's Dust My Broom. This step-by-step guide will help you focus on the right things so you can make some bluesy music on your guitar. You'll find timestamps for each of the sections in this lesson to help you follow along. Now, let's get to it. Let's assume we're coming from standard tuning. We're going to use our 4th string as a reference pitch, D, to drop the 6th string down from E. We're going to leave our 5th string tuned to A, our 4th string stays at D, our 3rd string comes down a half a step from G to F sharp. So I'll fret the F sharp at the 4th string, 4th fret as a reference pitch. And then our 2nd string comes down from B to A, so I'll use the 5th string as the reference pitch. And then finally, the 1st string comes down from E to D, so I'll use that 4th string as a reference again. Now, if you have a tuner, you could absolutely just tune to the pitches D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. But it's handy to know how to do it when you don't have a tuner. Once we tune to open D, we'll be able to strum across all 6 strings and hear a big D major chord. And this makes open tunings like this perfectly suited for slide guitar playing, as we'll see later in this lesson. But first, we have to get into open D tuning. In open D tuning, almost everything is different compared to standard tuning. However, there are certain hot spots on the fretboard that will help you find your way quickly while you're working on some blues slide. Since the open strings produce a major chord, barring across all 6 strings anywhere along the fretboard, will also give you a major chord, and the letter name of the chord will be the note name of the note on the 6th string or the 4th string. Now, note names are handy to know, but we can actually start making music pretty quickly with just 4 hot spots on the fretboard. The first is simply the open strings. Pretty easy, right? And because we've got a major chord, we're tuned to D, so this is a D major chord, we can do the same thing that we do with the open strings up at the 12th fret. So that's our 2nd hot spot. First is the open strings, 2nd is the 12th fret. Those are both D. Next, we've got what happens at the 5th fret, and then finally, the 7th fret. If you focus on these areas, you'll be well on your way to putting together a bluesy slide tune. You hear how they just kind of fit together. Here's a basic 12-bar blues example to help you get sliding around these hot spots. I'm going to focus on the open strings or the 12th fret. We're going to use those pretty interchangeably for the first 4 bars. Then for the next 2 bars, I'm going to use the 5th fret. Back to open and 12th for bars 7 and 8. For bar 9, I'm going to move to the 7th fret, bar 10, down to the 5th fret, and then we're just going to have some fun for the last 2 bars. Mix it up a little bit. Notice that I didn't play across all 6 strings. I naturally mixed up the strings that I was playing over each hot spot, and you should do that too. Experiment with this and have some fun, but focus on these hot spots. By the way, if you know a little bit about the Nashville number system or Roman numeral analysis, then you'll probably realize that these are the 1, 4, and 5 chords in the key of D. If you aren't familiar with the numbering system, then you can definitely get familiar with that. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this lesson, but it is worth a look. But if you just want to get jamming, just focus on these 4 hot spots. All right, playing around these hot spots is definitely fun, but there's more to slide playing than just playing these big blocky chords. We need some licks. If you're looking for that classic blues sound, then we're going to need to add 2 notes to complement each of these hotspots. The blues often blurs the lines between major and minor sounds, but so far we've just been playing these big major chords. But because each hotspot is a major chord itself, if we're going to blend in some minor, we're going to have to move to a different fret. And the cool thing is, if we just dip down 1 fret on the 3rd string relative to our hotspot, we get the minor 3rd. Hear how that starts to sound a lot more bluesy? Cool. But what can we do to incorporate the minor 3rd on our open string hotspot? We can't dip down below the open string, so we're going to need another option. We can also find the minor 3rd 3 frets higher than the hotspot on string 6, 4, and 1. Let's hear that. What's cool is that this works from each hotspot, giving us a few options. Here's an example based around the 5th fret that emphasizes the minor 3rd by dipping down and also by climbing up. All right, now we're cooking, but we can get closer to the blues by incorporating another very important tone, the minor 7th. This tone can be found a full step or 2 frets below any root, and we can easily find this from our hotspot on string 6, 4, and 1. We just dip down 2 frets below the hotspot. And because we can't do this with the open strings, we're going to need another climb option. So we can find the minor 7th up 3 frets on strings 5 and 2. Let's hear an example that incorporates both the minor 3rd and the minor 7th. And keep in mind that this is all relative to each hotspot or each chord. So as I change chords, you're going to see me dipping down and climbing from that hotspot. These aren't the only bluesy tones, of course, and you're absolutely free to move around and explore how different notes will color things, but these are, in my opinion, the first 2 that you should add to your hotspots to start creating cool bluesy licks with a slide. Which brings me to the final step. Learning other players' licks is a great way to get moving around the fretboard and improve your vocabulary, but here's a thought. You've just picked up a useful framework for creating your own licks in open D tuning. So spend some time with your guitar with these concepts in mind and allow yourself to freely noodle around the fretboard. I think of this as focused noodling, and it's helped me find what I like when I'm improvising or writing licks and solos. And I want to encourage you to do the same. The thing is, all of this just sounds better if you have good slide technique. To help you with that, I've put together a free resource called 5 Simple Steps to Better Slide Guitar, which you can pick up at the link right over there. And I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, practice smart and play on.